myself.
I'll just get on start doing comedy until,
Okay, yeah.
entertainment until 1. I forgot my watch today. I put my bracelets on and I forgot my watch and it's driving me crazy.
You might like this. Turn the camera towards her stuff over there.
I'll bring it over, but
Yeah,
is this the camera right here?
Yeah,
Yeah, so just careful when you move it, that way
you can
it's finicky. We need a new one of those.
you can move it out a little further if you want. Where are you gonna stand? Where are you gonna do all your stuff?
It's right here. And then I'll use this table as kind of like the decorative table. So maybe if we want to put the camera, how far does it go?
It's plugged in, so if he does that.
Yeah, that'll be a better idea just to give them the idea of, and I can move these 3 chairs out of the way. Just to use this as the display.
Okay.
Okay, and here's your little mouse. You can click through the presentation.
Oh, so I have to go back here.
You can do it
No, you
wherever.
can move it. It's wireless.
You can take it with you.
Oh, so this is like
You
a,
just have to.
oh, hold on.
You just
Let me
put
go
it
back.
on the table.
Hold on. I don't want anyone to see this yet. How do I go back?
Just click over here. But the sound's not going.
Is there sound on that?
Oh, there's
Then
probably
you
not.
need to-
I haven't plugged in my thing yet.
It's not working, the arrow's not working.
There's no arrow. Hold on, just click out of here so that goes away and then the arrow comes.
Oh, I didn't make it to where there's no waiting room. Let me do that.
All right.
So now there's audio.
I need to. How I let people. How I make me go back.
Click event. There you go. And then take that off and then mute them on entry. I need to make that change too. Yes. And then you can do the little dots right there. Oh, okay, that did that. But you still
Now what if they
need
have
to-
Q&A?
He's gonna be over there on
Yes,
his
I'll be at
computer.
the computer.
Oh,
Trim
okay.
everything.
All right.
Okay, let's just make sure the sound works though.
Okay, I'm over downstairs. If you need
Oh, I don't have my headphones hooked up. That's the next part I have to do.
Okay, so if you're gonna be doing that, if I'm ready for the next one, are you able to click it? So I don't have to come back over here?
Yeah, I could run the mouse for you if you wanted. If you just tell me to click.
Okay.
That would be easy.
Click, click.
Yeah. If she does this move, that means.
Yeah,
How's that?
She said she knows we're gonna go really fast.
All right, I'll be downstairs. Thank ya.
I could not hear the audio. That's not good.
What about, what is that right there? Or is there like on the volume thing, like here? See, now it's up to 100%.
I still can't hear it.
If this arrow works, I can do this.
Oh yeah, that works.
We just need to get audio.
So I can hear you, but I can't hear the stuff in the background. It's really weird hearing myself talk in my ear. This up.
I want people to see the best part. What if you take your AirPods out? Will that work?
No, because this is hooked up to my computer. So I'm just listening to the Zoom's audio. Sorry, I'm hearing myself double. Yeah, so I'm listening to my computer right now and I've got the
So can Diana fix it?
I don't know, I'm gonna go ask her. Hopefully.
Oh, you went to Kate. They're good. You hadn't been there, right? Oh, okay. That's neat.
I think Diana's husband was bringing her canes too.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Good.
Is it good? Their stuff is good? I've never had it.
You're saucy. Oh, I got that good ice.
Oh, the good ice, like the Sonic ice, like
The Sonic ice.
Oh, yes.
I drive through and get the children's deal, which gives you like 3, and the French fries and the sauce and all that. It's great.
I'll have to try that.
Stop sugar.
And
Okay, how do I make that not be?
well, I'm working on that. And then Dad.
Yeah, play that one or something. So I can't see the best part.
It's all the way up on everything. Let's see if we can get anything. Oh, no sound is happening.
Wow. We have to have sound.
All the way turned up here.
It's gonna come on and be like blasting like a concert.
Oh, yes. The sound work, the sound. Well, I'm not really surprised. Do you have anything? We're gonna press you too, so I can stage it. You're so good. I'll let you do your thing, but however you want to feel like. Wow, that was amazing. I just want to make this one second. What's that? I'm taking a class. I'm not gross. I mean, you know what I mean. But it just, my brain doesn't work that way. I think your brain works that way. For staging, brain works that way, yes. Where you can look at the bacon or the screw up and say, okay, we'll put this, we'll do that. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna remove this wall, and we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. That's how my brain works because my background is in interior design. So I can take a galley kitchen and imagine the wall is on a rack as long as it's not, you know, weight bearing, and I can do all that. And so I do have clients that will have me come out and I'll do like make curtains the house.
Just trying to sense sound through that.
Oh.
Pick out pictures for it, and then pictures are they can do that. I can do anything from start to finish. But I mean, it's kind of how you learn.
Try this one.
I think it's a G. I think it's like learning a different language. Right. Well, there's certain, these are just like little things to do. When I go into like people's houses, like I want like a hand towel. It's not, maybe it's a little OCD.
I'm gonna put a stick of it here that says do not.
And then downstairs in the bathroom.
Oh, my goodness.
But yeah, I'm like, little things like that, like when I'll change it, or I will fold the hand towel and I'll do that. Oh, yeah.
No, it's coming out of there.
You know, kids in there, they do whatever, like I'm like my husband and I were always one behind and like, if the chair or the bar stool is pushing.
Man, that's loud. Oh, I know why. It's coming out of this. No? I don't know. That's loud. Okay. It's coming out loud now.
Okay, thank you.
One thing, white's on the other. He does
That's
the
smart, though.
laundry.
That is a learned, I didn't do that with my kids, and that was a mistake, because that is a learned behavior, that takes no talent, that's, this is watch.
Well, and I don't cook, my husband does the cooking, so he does the grocery shopping, because I hate like the way that grocery stores, like, I get anxiety going to grocery stores.
Okay, what does your husband do?
He
Is
works
he
for
gorgeous
ISP.
like you are?
He's cute,
Does
I'll
he
show you
have
a
a
picture.
father?
He does have a father, but my in-laws been married for forever and ever, they've been together since they were 15. This is
Oh,
my
that's
handsome little
cool.
husband,
He is, and he grocery shops and cooks.
and does laundry, and makes bed, I'm doing that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny what you consider really
Well, you know,
attractive.
He's a manly man. I mean, like, we both hunt together. I mean, he's a man's man. I mean, but he goes with his thing. Like, that's what he likes to do. You know. Now, when we do, the kids, we do make the kids make their bed every morning. That is their job. So before they can go to school, their bed better be made. Keep brush and all, of course, that stuff. But it's our rule in the house that their bed has to be made.
Because I tell them, they like to eat so much that Ryan does. Ryan, but you know, I've got 4 grandchildren, and 3 of them are boys. And my daughter-in-law's up against Texas. They have gotten where, you know, everything has to be picked up at night. Granted, they're throwing them in drawers. I mean, they're starting to work on that. And I thought, you got something.
Oh, now if we open the drawer and it's like mine of those old laundry and lays on the table, on my dining table. Now they have to pick up their stuff and go put it away, like hang it out in the drawers. If we open a drawer and it's not neat, it's a little dumb, like take your whole dresser and put stuff out. You gotta redo it. We are kind of weird.
I love it.
I'm like, I gotta prepare you, you know, usually the nest, you gotta.
You know,
my
son was not neat at all. I mean, he didn't even know how to.
The grocery store, so they don't call you. They're sitting and say, where are the tortillas? I'm like, I don't shop at that grocery store.
Right?
There's people who work there.
And they'll shop for you,
I can ask them questions on where things are.
yeah. Yeah, that's his thing, he loves it. It's, for him, I think it's like his time to go, and when I think it's when I go with him, I'll be like, oh, this looks good, or I'll go to different stores, whatever. He's like, the bill goes up when you're with me versus whenever you're not with me, and it takes him more time, because I'm like, oh, wait a second, I want to read a label, or I want to, that kind of thing, so he just is like, he'll go during the day, he works from home, so he gets a call, and
My oldest son is like that. He does pretty much almost all the cooking. He does do both kids' baths and bedtimes, and daycare.
I do.
he's a morning person, I'm not a morning person. However, I was
Well,
at
I'm
4:45 and
listening
Katie and I were messaging on Messenger at 4:30. But this morning, yes, I don't know why. Well, I went to bed at 8:30 last night. That's crap.
Right?
But he normally does, school.
And that's in the morning.
Is she? Well, I
You know
shouldn't
that.
say either for some reason. I don't think she normally is, but I normally don't start my day until like 8 o'clock. And I'll answer my phone and do that.
Sure.
Starting to get ready, get that job to school and all this other stuff. And it's like, you got to take a break from that. 'Cause that's a morning hustle, you know? So.
Wow, right.
Are we ready to get
I
started?
think so, yeah.
Start with Miss Rosie. She brought us some treats.
Welcome, welcome. Thanks for being here.
My name is Rosie King. I'm with Residential Warranty Services, so I do home warranty. Contact me this month directly. I've got $50 that I'll put one code. We also do a $60 rest buy. And I know right now, since maybe you may be buying for your client, you can choose to put that as a buy down as well, so 110 off the contract. Wow. And our policy, it is all inclusive. Takes care of your appliances, multiple HVAC. The only thing that's probably an add-on is
What is your add-on cost for the pool?
$185,
Okay.
and it goes by square footage. So a median, just for our average size home, usually is probably about 515 to 605.
Awesome. Did you leave brochure for him to grab one?
I have some, and there's some downstairs. We also do the sewer guard, that's included in our policy. Automatically takes care of the water and the sewer line.
And that's great. And I know there's a lot of inspection companies that do that test during the inspection. But it's great that you guys offer that, because I don't know of another home warranty company that does that.
Our owner is actually, we've been in business 30 years, so we are nationwide. Our owner, he runs a huge inspector school. So he trains everybody to do the cameras and everything. So that's why it's exclusive to us. And just driving around, I'm in a brand new building, but they probably had to dig that 2 times in brand new houses.
Yep.
because of that. And then just walking around neighborhoods, you just see, especially those tree trunks that are getting in there.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes,
Scary thought, very pricey.
yes, for sure. Well, thank you so much for being here. I don't know how to focus this back. Did we find that on and everything?
Yep.
Okay. I can't see the screen. Can you, is this good?
Perfect.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm Lori Hauser and thanks for coming here. And I'm just going to basically give you guys some tips and tricks to make your listing drive the ad. And you can also use it for your own stuff, like at your own home. So, and then I guess we'll go ahead and just get started. So, well, will this work if I'm over here? Okay. People were wondering why I was carrying in toilet paper and there's a reason.
Let's take that place of yours from the draft. Yes, clean. When your house shines.
You always want to start with a clean surface, so I thought this was perfect.
Are you still sitting there? You need to start cleaning.
So we got all your clean, we clean, right? Okay. So I always have a checklist. Who has a checklist for your sellers before you go and, you know, if you're listing, before you list your house, before you list your house? I know you do. So it's always important to have them. There's a listing checklist. I'm happy to share that with you. I like to have the house cleaned professionally. Not all of us like to get down on our hands and knees and scrub, you know, do clean blinds, open the shutters, clean windows. You want it to just look fabulous from top to bottom. Ceiling fans. The perception to a buyer is if the house is looking meticulous, then you have meticulously maintained it over the course of your ownership. So always make sure that my notes downstairs, I just realized I do this. The air filter is changed out. Little things like that. I like to make sure that the linen closet looks like basically the JCPenney aisle of the towels. Everything's folded, you know, uniform, the same way. Try to do it in a color pattern. We've got cool towels, we've got bath towels. We have white for one, you know, and then colorful ones for others. So if they don't have that, that's fine. Just make it look good. So you can, you know, ask them to do those things, and it's less money to hire a stager or for you to come in, and that's a service that you can offer that maybe other agents are not offering. So you're saving yourself. Excuse me. Last time I priced a stager, it was going to be $750, and that was just for the time of that stager to go out to the property to use their stuff, but just to organize it and move around and tell them what to put in the garage. So if you can go in and have an open mind, you know what a model home looks like. That's what I'll sometimes tell a seller. You know what a model home looks like. That's what we need to get this done. Even though my house is going to sell, you know, right now in this market, get the mindset of we want to go the list price, you know, making the list price the starting price. And right now, statistically, offers are coming in 10 to 20% over asking. So when you make it amazing, they are going to give you top dollar. So a couple of things that we have done or that we do, I'll show you. Let me see. I don't know how. So anyways, always make sure the house gets cleaned before. It's always best to have a clean slate and a clean surface to go in there, and then you just add your touches and certain things like that.
So do you recommend the same cleaners to everyone? I mean, do you have
I have a lady that I use, yes, and she's worked for us for several years. So she has the code to our door. A lot of people use her. One of the things, she used to work at a resort, and I'll get to this, but this is one thing that I love coming home to is just pretty toilet paper. I know that sounds really silly, but sometimes what I'll do, I actually made this downstairs, and I'll show you how to do that in this class. So I'll take it off and I'll put it on the back of the toilet seat. So then when we have like Friday night, we're having friends over for dinner and drinks, whatever, I'll go into the guest bathroom and I'll go and change out the toilet paper. So they're like, oh, what a nice touch.
So what does she charge an hour? Just for general.
I would say,
kind of cleaning you like?
for 5 bedroom, 4 bath, 2 game room, meeting room, office, is 150. She's very, very reasonable. Yes.
Wow.
Are you talking about
Judy.
She's cleaning a house of mine. She cleaned a house of mine, 4,000 square feet.
Yeah.
4,300.
Yeah.
Every single window behind was cleaned by hand.
Yeah, she's not there for like 2 hours and out. She
She's
comes
there
in with
for
knee
hours.
pads on. She's there at our house for 5 to 6 hours. She comes
She
on.
charges you $150.
Mhm.
And she won't tell you if she cleaned my house. She wouldn't tell you. Darn.
No, no, she literally, she's a very godly person, and like literally, if I say, hey, are you available on this Friday? She's like, yes, Miss Lori, I look forward to seeing you. You know, whatever she loves what she does. She has a passion, and she's worked for a resort. So that's why she's got all these techniques. Like, you'll get to see the picture. There's some pictures of my home in some of the rooms, and she'll even take our blanket that we was just a throw blanket that I would just normally just lay out on the bed, and she folds it and makes it into a heart. I'm like, oh, wow. I
We
think just,
need her number.
I will share it with you.
Oh, cool.
Yes, I will
Thanks.
share it with you. I should have actually put her picture up on there, and I did, but she's the sweetest lady. We just love her. So another thing too is, I don't think we added this picture, but making sure that the pantry is always chaotic. And that's one of the things that like drives me like crazy. It's so simple. Go to Target and go to the organization section and just buy some of those things to put your spaghetti in, your macaroni and your cereal and whatever. It just makes it all look more uniform, makes it nice. Plus, you're not having a bunch of boxes with, you know, the lids that are opening up, you know, because they don't stay shut. Your kids ripped open the cereal box. And so making sure that the pantry, I mean, those are the things, the kitchen and master are the main focus of the home when a buyer comes through. And the first place they get to is mostly the kitchen. And if they're disgusted by the kitchen, then they sometimes won't even get back to the master. Now in this market, it's different. We have to think of all markets. So have the mindset of neutral market, buyer's market, seller's market, whatever. So it doesn't matter whatever market you're in. Underneath the sink, I have a video on here of how to organize that, make it look nice and neat. You also want to show by doing this that there's not any warping of the wood underneath the sink, and it's neat and tidy. So also inspectors can get to that kind of stuff when it comes time for that. So just being proactive in organizing it, you'll be able to take some tips and tricks to, just help that process out. A few other things you're going to see are how to, whether the house is vacant or if the house is occupied, what to do and some things to add some special touches to. So there are some videos, and then I've got some things here that I just loaded up from my own home, and we'll kind of show you how to put something together. And feel free to like this Q&A. This is a lot of information. So ask a question. This is my coffee table that I did, and I switch it up literally like 5 months, probably every month. So there's always going to be a different candle on there. I love using a mirrored, this is super dusty and gross, but a mirrored tray because it reflects the light. And so when you're sitting in the living room at night and you have a candle lit on there, it reflects the light and you just have a really nice ambiance. So I love mirror trays. The wood ones are easy. They don't show the dust as often, but so far, let's see here. I think there was. These are some simple things you can get at Target, and it just helps you get organized in your bathroom, in your kitchen, and just look how neat that is. I mean, it just is so, just tidies it up. And you're looking there and you're like, wow, I have a lot of space. So we, now moved it. I don't have a big bulky container of the Tide Pods or the Cascade Pods and whatever. I'll show that again because I think it's really cool. And if you've never used command strips, like they are the best, and you would be amazed at how much weight they can hold. So, just making your under the sink go from dry to fat. This is amazing. I wish I could see the organization that's on next, but let's see here. Okay, so this is my kitchen table. This is my husband's feet. And this was just kind of like a before and after. So what we did was we had this long table. One side has a bench, the other side has 3 chairs, and then there's 2 end things. And so I thought, I want to have this. I'm tired of just having dinner, and just I want my table to look pretty, right? So we go to Target, and of course, in the magnolia section and the which is one of our favorites. And so we go there, and they've got you can get a set of 4 of napkin rings. And I just happen to like this one. I like the basket weave look. And then you get the napkins, and you put them through, and then you just dress up your table kind of all the way around. We actually have a place setting at 8. So I'll just do this for example. And it just adds layering woods, even though you can tell my table is darker. Mixing metals, just like mixing woods, is totally in, and it's okay. Like, don't feel like you have to have something that's gold or silver, because my chairs are silver, because I use a lot of gold accents. I love to mix metals, and I love to mix wood colors. So some people would think, like, is that fashion faux pas? No, it's not. It's in. So, and that's why I chose to go with this sort of this color napkin ring versus the darker one, but I wanted to bring out the lightness to go more so with the layering piece of the wood versus the table. So then as a centerpiece, and you can find these, I don't know if I can see these or not. These are actually a lot of times when you go to like Hobby Lobby or Target or at home, Michael's, you'll find different types of things that you wanted. I wanted this for spring, add a pop of color. So I like the lemons. Lemons are kind of in for this spring. So the wreath that I have on the front door has lemons on it. I got these at Target. And then they actually come really, really long. So we just I have bolt cutters handy, and we'll just, cut these up. And so then, let's see, the jar that I chose, I like this type of glass. It's kind of like a blue color. It's not a clear glass, but it just adds a little flare to it. And then we kind of just measured it out like this. And then I bolt cut in what I wanted as far as size. You kind of throw that in there. And this is a tray that matches and goes with these layering pieces. So as a centerpiece, the table is that. Now you've got a little, this way, that. And then they have these cute little magnolia salt, and then they have pepper. So we've got salt and pepper. And then, of course, I have that. Blue is kind of like the go-to color in our house, the undertone, I guess, or the color to add an undertone. So I chose that candle. You can also do, I love candles like this and the gold lids. Some people like silver, it's just personal preference. So, but this would even go nicely. However, then you've got a dark, and then you've got lights here. So I would personally pair something. I like that these are the same height, because you always separate in 3s, and then this is just your extra piece, like your. But anyways, so this is what it looks like. I'll turn it around. So when you walk in the door, this is how it appears. Oh, I don't know the name of the fragrance, and that is the centerpiece. And then you've got your plates that go all the way around. So that's just for the kitchen table. And you can do several variations of it. If you don't want something, if you have a high ceiling, this works great. If you have lower ceiling, maybe go with something a little bit smaller. And then maybe not this color of a vase, because you already have the creams on there, but then just do something that kind of drapes over. Like, I know that like fake plants, and then what do they call those trees when we had in room, like growing up in college? Those little ficus trees, yes, the little, the ficus trees. They were out for so long, but now, like fake greenery is like back in. So just having a pop of color is in. So, but you see how that kind of just looks odd, but it changes out and add a different color and a little bit of height to it. And just add, it's a very easy way to spice up a dining table or kitchen table or something like that. So,
You've got a lot of black.
a black table, this would actually go really, really well with it.
It's still in the way.
I would still do it. Matter of fact, my table personally is a little bit darker in person than that. Actually is very much of this color.
So would you don't do tablecloth? Is that old?
No, this is new.
No, I meant
Like a
Coronas. Is that an old?
No, I'll do stuff like that for like seasonal formal things. Yeah, like for like if we had for Easter, I'll do something, or I'll add some different things. Actually, this is another thing you can add to it, just to add a little whatever is these little, I don't know what they're called actually. These little ropey things, whatever. What's it called? A ropey thing. A ropey thing. And you can get them in, you can go to Hobby Lobby, in black, cream. I just personally went with like a bluish gray color, just because I just thought it was fun. But no, black is one of my favorite things. And black and white right now, or black and cream, is super, super in. And I would love to redo my house if I had to kill me, because we have so much blue that I would be in big trouble. But so my office does have a lot of black and white, and adding black and white is almost like leopard. It's now really considered like a neutral. So I love black and white. So maybe that's on a new trip, and I will just come to a new bedding and pillows on the couch and all that stuff.
He'd actually know.
Huh?
And he would
Actually notice, yes, he would. We pay attention. So yeah, he said if the Amazon person didn't come at least every other day, they would probably call the cops and you were dead. That's what my husband said. Well, but I'm cheap. I like to find good deals. Great places to shop, like I said, Hobby Lobby, At Home, and I have found that if you go to the At Home off of 35, that's actually more expensive than Home Goods or Hobby Lobby. So I would probably stay away from that. The Hobby Lobby has great faux plants, and I'll show you some of that. I like it to look nice, but I hate maintenance. So I actually on my front porch, I'll get to that. But as far as the price for what you get is Target and Home Goods are my favorite, and Hobby Lobby. So At Home, I have found that their prices actually are pretty steep for what you get.
I think Burke's Outlet, they usually have.
Burke's Outlet? Where's Burke's Outlet?
There's one on Louisville off of Round Road, and they're pretty fairly priced for the same kind of stuff.
Oh, really? We'll have to check that out. I've never heard of that.
If I find
BERKS?
one, BURK
Okay.
Outlet,
Okay.
if I find random one, I pop in there to know.
Oh, good. Well, I do know, because my mother-in-law lives in East Texas, and she loves to come to Home Goods anytime she comes to town, is what she calls it, comes to the city, concrete jungle. But the best Home Goods that we have found and that is highly rated is in Valley Ranch, off of MacArthur and 635. Yes. And they have a great place over there called Persona that has great clothing and accessories for cheap. So anyways, so here's a toothbrush holder that some of us have underneath or have one and we're not using it. Oh, some greenery. Like, how cool is that? That you have something that you can use for another purpose. I mean, sometimes my kids now they're in the black and white phase in their bathroom, so they have black and white, and then I have this silver, you know, thing that held toothbrushes and stuff. And I just literally threw, I don't have those pieces of greenery with me today, but throw those in there and then just change it around, put it in the kitchen corner, put it in whatever. I mean, it's amazing. So like just thinking outside the box, but if you've got a vacant listing or just trying to spice up someone's home or pictures, I mean, see what they have. And then, you know, just those greenery pieces are really, really cool. And I do like how they, with this greenery on top of the table, how you layer things, just like whenever you have picture frames, having those decorative books and then picture frame on top. I love that as well. That's also a decorating tip. So let's see what we have next. Okay, so this is a kitchen. My kitchen looks very similar to the one on the left. I love the one on the right. And these new cutting boards, or back in the 80s, you would call them paddles. Those are super, super in, and they look so good up against a bright white kitchen, layered. But then they're also super handy because if they need them, you can use them, and rinse them off, you know, dry them off, and put it right back. So I've got a video for that. And then just having like a cute little set here, you know, ours is on the table, but you know, like the salt and pepper, the olive oil, but having it on a tray versus just sitting on the counter just adds more like effect to the eye. It's like, yes.
Question for you. I love the look,
Uh-huh.
especially like on the left.
Uh-huh.
Everything we've been taught is everything off those counters.
Not everything. So here's the thing. If the house is vacant, some of the stuff that you've been doing, like the Perriers and the things that I think with the lemons, that's great. But you still want your seller to feel like, okay, I know this is a drag, having to do whatever, but some people like the KitchenAid, you know, is something that people use all the time. Those jars, you know, okay, so if this is the only counter space in this house, then yes, I would probably remove those in that, and I would actually probably keep these 3 items, this one, and then the small one, and then get rid of. But I'm assuming that there's another part of the kitchen, but you do want to show the counter space, a countertop space, depending on how much, yes. Yeah, but it is okay to have, you know, like if, let's just say there's counter space over here, there's some over here, and then there's also an island. This right here, the minimal this would be perfect for the entire kitchen. And maybe even moving this to the island. But, you know, of course you always want to make sure that like the cookbook is next to the KitchenAid, or both of those items are next to the cooktop, if that makes sense. Now, if it's on an island, I don't recommend it just because I like to see a big open island. But typically your cookbook and your things are near where you're cooking because that's where you're focusing on as you're doing that task. So now as far as jars, we have these same jars here, the ones on the right, and we like to decorate our cookies and make them pretty and things like that. And it's just an added touch. I know it sounds silly, but let's see what's next.
Kardashian.
Yes.
Vienna fingers or whatever they are, and they
Yeah.
them up.
Yeah.
Surely somebody's coming by and eating something.
Our kids eat them. Our kids eat them. Our kids eat them. We have one jar that's the dark Oreo, and then we have the one jar that's the vanilla Oreo. And as they get, you know, down, then we'll put those in a bag and refill them so they don't get stale. But yes, we do eat those, and then it's just something that we'll just sit and after a trip to the store or whatever, kind of refill them up or whatever. But so that's fun. But those boards right there, you can actually find those at Target and Home Goods. And then another thing that's really popular is with the cookie jars is, you don't all know what a dough bowl is? It's those long, but it's like a bowl but long. So we have one of those, and that's where we keep lemons, limes, bananas, so it's very colorful. So then that's, okay, so you have your 2 jars. Let me just act this out. So these are the cookie jars, and then this is my size-wise, it's not right, but, so in the corner of our kitchen, we've got two cookie jars like that in the picture, and then the dough bowl in front of it. So you've got your decorative cookie jars with the Kardashian look of whatever, and then we have this colorful palette of fruit, fresh fruit. So, that's super fun. And everyone always makes a comment like, do y'all actually eat those? We do. So, okay, so that's another thing. I know we have some of those cookies back there. So, someone could take those and make a pretty cute little cookie jar out of those. But that is just fun. And it's just an added, like, instead of a regular cookie jar, it just makes it look pretty. Just add a little touch. You can find these jars too, pretty much at Target or anywhere, as far as Home Goods, Hobby Lobby, things like that. But Target is a great place. I love Target. All right, so this is another little video. Trays are super in. You can also find, and that's just the layering, the basket weave again, the gold. Super in. So obviously, as realtors, we never recommend a seller to have leave a candle on during showings. I don't care if they have showings for, back to back to back to back or whatever. I only use a candle if I'm personally there. Because of course you don't want to create any liability for ourselves. It's a great way when you're doing an open house to have that. You can find these faux pears and lemons at Target. And I do like the tiered tray here with the fake. These are probably fake and this is real. So, and then just adding some greenery. And then throughout the holidays, when it's different, let's see what we have coming up next. Memorial Day. So you got that. And then July, you could do some like red, white, and blue stuff. Back here, they have these jars, and these are actually the wine corks that they have used. And a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll date them and put the occasion. So those are kind of like keepsakes. I don't think I have enough jars for that for me, but I think it's really cute for the people who do have apothecary jars. They can do that. I mean, for special occasions like a birthday or a anniversary or whatever. I mean, great. Let's date it. Let's write on it and put it in a jar. But like the everyday thing, I don't think that would work for me. But yeah, these faux colors, like I said, lemons and pears are completely in right now. I know that green was the color, the decoration color or decorative color for last year. And I love an emerald green with gold, and you can do a lot to add different colors to it, such as, black and cream, and then even mixing it with other colors, to go with the emerald green. So let's see here. This is also another pretty palette for if you're, trying to get a lot of things off of the counter space, because they have a beautiful granite or sandstone or quartz that you want to really show off, and just the cleanliness of having the counter space, but just something a little bit decorative. You can get some really nice wooden or bamboo spoons from Home Goods. They have some whisks in there, 2 whisks, it looks like, and a gold pair of scissors. And then just some like bowls. And I like how they draped just kind of like the hand towel off to the side, just to add a little bit. This would be something to be for a vacant home, just to add a little something. And then also to the left here, this looks like rock candy or something. This looks like something that would be more like in a bathroom. I'm not really sure what. Actually, you know what? This is a candle inside of this little container here. And then they have the bright green apples with the cream. Instead of actually having like this type of greenery, they just have the cream. So, and you can actually make these very, very simple. You can get Elmer's clear glue And if you get pieces that you like in a jar, and these are some of the jars that you can find at Target. This was, no, I'm sorry, this was from At Home. This was $4.99. So you get Elmer's glue, you find a color that you like. Maybe you want to go hot pink, and let me get the camera so you can see it. So this little jar here, my girls use these and they put coffee beans in them or black beans, and they put their brushes that they have for their face in those, and when they have another one, so after they use it for a couple days and the brushes are dirty, they go into the dirty one, or they each have their own, I don't know, they have like these vanity things that light up. I don't know, I don't know them, but that's what they like to put their makeup brushes in versus having it in the bag. But it's hard to tell. I don't know if people can see. Can you see this like that? Okay, so there's this little area here of the Elmer's glue, and all that this person had done, whoever made this, was pick out these colors and whatever in this greenery, and then you cut them off with bolt cutters, and you make a small little greenery. So you pick out your own colors. So in my office downstairs, I like vibrant colors, turquoise, black and white, hot pink, whatever. So I would be inclined to do something, you know, very, very colorful and make something like that for my office if I was going to do that. But those are simple and easy, and it's just Elmer's glue, bolt cutters, and going to Hobby Lobby and just picking out something that really goes with your clients or your home's decor, and just a pop of color. Let's see. Okay, so this is my living room. So we have this little box chair right here, and then there's a pillow here. And the way that we have throws, I love throw blankets. And then this was the before of the coffee table. So, and I play around with this coffee table all the time. And like the vase to this greenery I play around with, I'll change out the color of the candle. I do certain things. This stuff right back here is pretty much never touched, but I probably have gone through maybe 5 or 6 sets of different color palettes of pillows. My husband finally said, okay, enough pillows. So I found those and have been pretty happy with them. And I like that they're a little bit darker blue than the rug itself. And then, so I did a video on how to decorate. This is the one that we typically use normally on the coffee table. I didn't exit out of something. I just did something else. Okay. So with the this is the mirrored one. So let's see. I don't think what I had on it. Okay, so I have coasters. We don't use coasters. These are really just for looks because most woods nowadays are water resistant. So like the furniture that you buy in Nebraska or wherever is gonna, even our kitchen table, it's not gonna have rings like the older furniture. So these typically are just for looks. So these are just like 4 wooden coasters. And so instead of having them just kind of like this, like a stack of cards, I like to layer them just a little bit and just kind of do like so. Or I'll do like 2 and 2, you know, like that. But typically I'll do, and I'll kind of, these have designs on them. I don't know if you can see that or not, the little gold designs. So what I'll do is I will like line those up. OCD like line these up like this, and then lay it out on the coffee table so it looks like this. So I'm gonna take a corner, I'm gonna do that, and then typically I have a let's see here. Got so many different little. Currently I have this on here, but this would actually I'm gonna use this one instead. So. For that, you got your coffee, your coasters, and then let's see here. Then you can add we want to do a candle, so we can do a candle and then a photo frame. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add here. I'm going to change this over to here, and just like so. So now you have your ambiance. I'll turn this around. That's just an easy way to put a tray together with a little bit of greenery, a photo, coasters, and candles. You can change it a lot of different ways. I like to have like 2 candles on there of the same scent. And these I got at home. These were kind of pricey, just because this right here is $9. This one's $5, and I got the same, not flavor, same scent. So you can take a picture off. You can make a little bit smaller. So I have you like this. This is my other large piece. And I'll do this right here, and then do an accent of some sort, whether it be little strings. If you don't want the height. I like the height. You can really change it up. And then, you know, I always put the lids underneath. This actually opens up like this. So you have storage underneath it. So I'll put these kind of like in this cabinet here so you don't see them. And then cover them when you're not using them. So if you don't want the height, whatever, that way you can cover them up. So there's different ways to decorate. You typically decorate in 3s when it comes to main pieces. A greenery and then 2 objects. Or a greenery and picture frame being the second object, and you've got a candle being the third. So typically, always remember decorate in 3s. So, I think I had a video on that. Oh, no, this is now a bedroom. Okay, so in this particular bedroom, this is our current master. If you don't have windows behind your lamps, I always recommend hanging mirrors or artwork. It could be the same exact artwork, and you can find so much of that stuff at Home Goods. But hanging mirrors behind the lamps also adds depthness to the room, and it makes it appear larger than what it normally is, or than what it actually is. I should say, not normally. It makes the room feel larger. And then Miss Judy, of course you can see I love pillows. So and blue is kind of my jam. So we've got all different kinds of pillows on there. All of those I found at Home Goods. Blanket as well. Lamps from Target. But yeah, pretty simple. We kind of like it. We're not we're kind of less is more. I like our space, but we're not knick-knacky people, other than, you know, certain things. It's like the trays, but we don't have a lot of stuff, you know, on nightstands or even in the kids' rooms. We're just not knick-knacky people. So getting rid of some of the knick-knack stuff when you go in for a listing, it's going to help, because what people are doing is they're focusing their eyes on all these little things. You know, you want them just to see the main points of everything. You know, what are, you know, with a kitchen? Oh, okay, cute cookies, you know, whatever. But you're focusing on the nice, clean, you know, counter space, like Marty said. Really showing off, you know, the values of what they put into it. Now, even if they have Corian or laminate or whatever, still decorate it, still make it pretty. That is that. Okay, so I am not a green thumb at all. So, and when I have a crooked finger because I wanted to be a green thumb and love having a fireplace, and broke my finger 2 years ago, and so I don't do that anymore. So this is actually a faux plant you can find at Hobby Lobby, and we just plant it in a planter, and that's just black mulch over it. So in the wintertime, people think that we're so handy and great, whatever, but it stays green all year round. But it's actually a spiral. It's hard to tell. Now the flowers in that other pot are real. We just have to remember to water those. So
How hard is
well, when you're married to my husband, he's pretty good about it. I think he has like a little reminder on his phone or something, because somehow they stay alive, and I think I've touched them twice. We did this when it first started warming up, probably about 2 months ago or whatever, after Snowmageddon. But so I'm all about the faux plants. Now we do have hanging baskets in the back that he likes, and so when he waters the dog bowl, or we put the water in the dog bowl, then we'll water the plants, that kind of thing. Luckily we have, had rain, to kind of give the yards and plants, rainwater, but left that. This is a video of just kind of some floating shelves, just to kind of, it's kind of a short video, wasn't it? But if you have a guest bathroom or a half bath that just needs something, so there's normally a mirror, a toilet, and a sink, and a little hand towel holder. So like sometimes if there's room, if it's not under the stairs and there's not a ceiling, kind of, an angled ceiling in the bathroom, add some floating shelves. We don't, in both of our bathrooms, the kids' bathroom and the master bathroom, we actually have hooks on the walls for towels versus using, who uses a towel bar? I don't. If anyone uses it, I can have
Or just decorative ones.
decorative
I
towels.
have the hanger back in my room that we
Yes.
don't use those out. You want it.
Yes. So another great idea too is, and I've personally done this, but I haven't done it in a while. This was at another house. The galvanized piping from Home Depot is taking the galvanized piping. It's kind of farmhousey look, but it's still also an industrial mid-century modern. It can go a lot of ways. It's kind of more neutral versus farmhouse. But just getting, and actually Home Depot will actually cut the wood to the length that you want it. So you just find the wood, the thickness that you want it, and then tell them how many inches long that you want it. And then once they cut it, you'll just sand the edges. You can stain it to whatever color you want. And then a trick is to actually get another. So they have the straight galvanized, and then they have the rounded galvanized. So the rounded galvanized at the bottom. I wish I had this picture. You know what? I'm gonna pull it. I'm gonna find it.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes, you'll pull it up. It's a picture of the galvanized shelving, but it actually has a towel holder. So for decorative purposes, I used to do this, and I haven't done it in a long time, but embroider, your last initial and put on that, not a towel you never touch, but just to have shelves over the tub, because I want to have something like a container, apothecary container with Epsom salt in it and a candle that you can actually enjoy versus a towel rack. I think the towel rack just kind of is pointless to me. I mean, it's always going to be.
Well, like that little, the handle one, that's the one that's annoying to me. I wanted to take it off.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some on here. Let's see here. I think I spent. So, yeah. I don't see one with a towel holder on it. I've got it on my phone. I'll have to find it. I emailed it. I may not have gone through because I sent you something. But just having these racks, but I like the galvanized steel ones. I think they're really cool. You can actually order those on Amazon versus making them yourself. That galvanized steel is pretty pricey. So I mean, it's going to be, if you're going to be staying in the home, or it's a nice selling point. But there's a video that they're creating a basket on the bathroom countertop after they did these floating shelves.
Here's one showing and piping in the towel.
Yes, I will show that. Yes. Keep hold that up. This is one, I don't know what greenery this is, but this is one of my favorite greeneries. And that wood soap dispenser is at Target right now. And then rolling up the hand towels, those are actually just washcloth. Then that's actually a nice touch in the kids' bathroom. They get to wash, rinse their hands off with the actual towel versus using like a hand towel or something else that just adds a little extra effect. Also, you can also take these square jars, and have you seen it where you take the Kleenex box and you fold it into a U, But take the Kleenex out of Kleenex box and fold it into a U, and then you start pulling it up, and that's your Kleenex box. And if I had a Kleenex box and I thought about that, I would show it to you right now. But, so if you just buy a pack of puffs or Kleenex, whatever, and then you open it up, it's gonna be kind of folded into a U. You're just gonna grab that, you pull it down, or it's gonna kind of stand up, and then you pull it out, and this will actually imitate the actual tissue box. So if it's allergy season, and you wanna put that next to your bed instead of the ugly tissue box, I mean, that's another way to spice it up versus making it kind of look so blah. Maybe I just have too much time on my hands to think about these kinds of things, but, all right. So the next one, okay, so this is the toilet paper thing. This is what famous Judy, my favorite Judy does. And I made these downstairs. So first I'm telling my husband, I'm like, okay, help me load this, help me load that. And then I need 2 rolls of toilet paper. He goes, well, don't you have toilet paper at your office? And I'm like, honey, I don't need to use it. I'm showing them the toilet paper. So, oh, okay. So this one looks like a sealed envelope. And this one looks like a flower. I'm going to show you how to do this. Super, super easy.
What did you do with it?
Into the sink water.
And then she pressed the thing into it?
So what you do, so here's the sealed envelope and the flower. So I made these downstairs just a little bit ago. So now I'm going to take this apart and I'm going to attempt it with my water bottle. So this is how you do it. Can people see? Is it a good angle?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So I'm just going to take this little flower off. And this is just a new roll of toilet paper. Let me just take off a few things. Like that. All right, so we're just going to toss this over here. Actually, we'll make this into our little peanut. See how pretty that is? So much pretty in the box. Okay, so now I'm going to take off 1, 2, 3 squares. Only use 3 squares if you use whatever, because you don't need to use the whole thing. So what you're going to do is, normally what you would do is you would turn on a sink and you would turn it off and immediately put this under the nozzle to catch the excess water that's in that little, what do you call it? Strainer. It looks like okay. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so, okay, actually, you know what? We're gonna do a hands-on. We're gonna do a hands-on class here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. We're all gonna learn how to make a flower, toilet paper. Perfect. Yeah, it'll take a flower. 1, 2, 3. 1, 3. So the next open house you have, or the next listing you have, or when you get home tonight, you get to show your family this awesome little trick. They're gonna be so amazed. You're gonna be TikTok famous. You can actually go on TikTok and search toilet paper, decorative toilet paper, whatever, and anything you want to search, you can pretty much find. Okay, so what you're gonna do is put the tissue this way, and you're kind of just gonna like scrunch it up. So I'm gonna do like this, and I'm literally just gonna take my fingers. This is not really a good surface. But I'm just gonna start grabbing it and pulling it from corner to corner. Kind of a weird surface to do this on. Right? So then you get finally a corner to corner, and it looks like kind of like a petal, right? Does everyone kind of look like that? Yep. Yep. You're gonna do that 3 times. You're gonna do that 3 times. Actually, see here. I just normally hold one corner down, and then you're kind of just gonna like layer it like this. And I'm gonna do the 3rd one. These things are kind of hard, so if you have on your computer or your phone, it might be a little bit easier. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because once you kind of get scrunched up, you can actually kind of like kind of swap them out like you would like ribbon, right? So let me do my 3rd one here. And I'm just gonna put that across the top. Now I've created this pretty little flower. just like that. And now let me attempt this. So it's gonna work. I don't have a sink up here to show everyone. I'm gonna place it on where your next, where you would grab the toilet paper. I'm gonna place it in the center of that. And so what I would normally do is turn my sink on and then turn it off and then immediately stick this under and then press up. So any excess water that with the sink without the sink being on would underneath the faucet. Yes, yes. So I'm gonna attempt it with this water bottle. I hope it's not too much. So I'm gonna just be like, I'm gonna do like this, like that, and like that. And just pretend like this is the same. It works.
Dude.
So when you're in an open house, you don't even need a sink. There we go, everybody. There's your flour.
Don't even make water.
Yes. You don't have to you don't have to water this one, but it actually eventually gets watered and stuff. So yeah. But that's just another easy, just like, I mean, how fun is that? You have guests over, make it special. Gosh, actually, this, I will tell you, works better than the sink. So just put it on, tip it over, it's not coming off. It's on there.
So do you ever have, I guess everybody walks out of your bathroom and says, oh my gosh, that flower was too cute.
We are homebodies, we don't go out a lot, but if we do have people over or whatever, they know we're vegan, we do silly things and whatever. So they just walk in and they're like, thanks for thanks for one-upping us, whatever. When you come to our house, it's not like that, or but we just, I don't know, it's fun. And we do it for the kids. My husband does it for me. We'll create something, it's just fun. It's just, I don't know. I think attention to detail is so important. And, when we write our contracts, when we are with our clients, just anything we do, like when you add attention to detail and you pay attention to that, like going the extra mile, people notice that. I mean, we are in a service industry, and I mean, it's amazing. Just like the display of the drinks back there, not having a nice, container versus just a 6-pack or a 2-liter with a bag of ice and some cups and a scoop. I mean, that's a nice display. So just going the extra mile and having those simple touches goes a long way, And I mean, you can even put this in a vacant house like this, just in case someone has to go to the bathroom.
Do you ever decorate the door? I mean, I love Brian Buffini, and I'm in this group forever. And one of the things that a lot of the agents are doing now to welcome people home after they bought the house is they're putting ribbons on the, like it's a package.
Yeah.
With a
Like
big
a Christmas package.
with a welcome home or and a new fresh
Doormat. Yes.
Yeah, and they're so cute. Do you ever do that?
Yeah. Okay. So if the house is vacant or not vacant, if the front doormat looks used or it's just kind of blah, or it's drab, it needs to go to fab, then Target has them for $12.99 to $10.99, I think, and it says "Home Sweet Home." Or Rebecca Douglas, she loves pineapples. I need to send her a picture, but there's one that has 3 pineapples on it. You can actually get stuff made for your open houses that say, welcome to the open house. And, no, she's fine. I saw her. She's not fine.
Welcome to the open house.
Yeah, you can actually, if you go on Etsy, you can actually have a doormat that is customized with your name on it. So just, go on to Etsy.
Welcome to the open house. Take it. And take it with you. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Remember when you're open.
So when you go to Etsy, it's gonna be, you'll say just Google real estate doormats. And then there's different things on there that you can order, all kinds of stuff. And then for open houses, Marty and I have done open houses together. It wasn't the best location because it was kind of out in that little more rural than it is in the city. Like Corinth, Oakmont, or Lantana, or a certain house, but I have a 10-foot red carpet that you can roll out that has the gold poles with the red velvet, rope to it. So people feel like they're really getting like the red carpet treatment. And then, offer, do what?
Because they are.
Yes. And so, and then having, I had a gold container that's very similar to that. It's not tilted, it's just a gold container, and I got it at Target, of course. You can pretty much find anything you need at Target. If you can't find it at Target, then you don't need it. You have that or Amazon. So, but I'll fill that up. We were kind of rushed that day. It was super windy out, whatever. People are, coming in before we can even get set up. So the normal deal was kind of skewed, but I have a tray that's very similar to this hammered gold look. That's a lot wider, and I have a couple different trays. I love trays. But taking the cookies out of the plastic container and then putting them on whatever and having a nice thing of napkins. You can also get napkins made on Etsy that says, has your logo on it or whatever. And then letting them know and offering, I know this sounds really cheesy, but give a really nice listing, or even not, whatever the price range is, because big or small, we sell them all, right? Is offering some Perrier. Some people like mineral water. I love mineral water. So like LaCroix, Perrier, and then also for children, or your toilet paper, I like to buy these small ones or the regular size bottled water. Just to give them a variety. And then of course, cookies, always make sure there's not one with allergy, sugar, kind of have a variety of things, not touching. But
If you have do you have a doormat? Do you have one that you take with you, and what colors, or how do you design that? Or do you just have a regular one that looks like straw with, welcome?
I actually had one that was customized. It needs to be redone, but it's just black, red, and white. So whatever your colors are, whether you just want it to show be universal for Keller Williams, or if you want to personalize it, like my colors are black, gold, and white. So I'll be when I redo it, it'll reflect my brand. Or just getting the generic ones from, Target that says Home Sweet Home. I also have, there's a lady, and I can give you her name. If you want to pull her up on Facebook or friend her or message her. Her name is Brinley, Brinly, I believe. Let me double check that. Her last name is Ash. She's engaged now. Let me go to her Facebook page. She, those chalkboards that are kind of like this tall, and then they close, it's kind of those signs, and they open, so there's chalkboard on both sides. That phrase, I don't know, on Pinterest, like, welcome, come on in, take a look around, ask questions, fall in love, make an offer, whatever. That is another thing that I'll put out on the front door to welcome people into an open house. But I'll have people come in, and I also have this guy, or this little blow up thing, the car dealership who a guy kind of like slaps around. I've got a guy in a tuxedo, and then I ordered another one, and he got to be too tall. He was too tall. They have to redo it. Anyways, his name is Wavy Dave. And the last time we tried to use him, it was super windy out, and the air blower thing couldn't keep up with him. So it was Lazy Dave that day. He couldn't stand up straight. So I think he had a rough night the night before. But those are fun. And I've actually had people like neighbors, come down and say, like, can I get your card? Because, this is so fantastic. If I know of anyone to list, it's not just a little sign in the yard that says open house, come on in from 1 to 3 on Sunday. You have, Star Popcorn, or that Lone Star Popcorn and Helen Village or Flower Mound. You can go in there and get popcorn. And the key is not only the staging, but I know we're kind of branching off into open houses. How we doing on time? We're doing good. Is by having like 8 to 10 clipboards, and then your sheets, like, welcome, da 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 da, hi, my name is so-and-so, what, are you currently working with a realtor, what are you looking for, blah, blah, blah. Here's the information sheet, here's a clipboard, feel free to walk around, if you have any questions, let me know, but then it forces them, once they're done looking around, whether they want you to tour them or not, or how many people you have in the home, right? It forces them to come back to you before they walk out that door, because they have to give you the clipboard back. So that's when you kind of say, so what are your thoughts? And you grab the clipboard, you've got your pen in your hand, and a lot of times I just show it my hair, and then I start writing notes. Oh, you don't have a realtor? Okay, great. Well, I can set you up in a whatever, and Marty, has your hotspot on, and sometimes you can get overwhelmed if you can't do it right then because you've got people coming in and it's just you. So in this market, I think it's great to go in pairs. But then you start taking notes. Okay, I see your email is, Casey Smith at whatever does that say? Make sure you can read it. There's so many times where at the end I'm like, well, I wish I would have asked. They didn't read that number. You know what I mean? People's, handwriting is different. So but that's another trick of the red carpet, a sign.
Tell what Rebecca does with the cards throughout the house.
Oh, yes. So Rebecca, she had a house in Argyle, and it was an elderly couple, and it was hand built from the ground up in the 70s, right? 60s or 70s. Yeah. So anyways, there were certain features to the house that if you didn't have a card, so she had these little tent cards that were made that would say like lift up counter, just and basically
It was an indoor Jenner grill.
Yeah.
Under a countertop.
Yeah.
So she had this, it was great.
Yeah.
Is anything that she wanted to point out in the house, people would go up and read it.
Mm-hmm.
That is.
Yeah. So if there's little things like, certain features about the home that's in the bathroom, or sometimes the floors are heated in the bathroom. Sometimes people wouldn't know that, and they don't know what button to push or whatever you can put. And it's going to be in the MLS on the description or on your flyer. Hopefully, that's a really, really cool thing. But also just pointing those out or having the 10 cards in there, just to kind of give the extra explanation. Also, another thing too is he has this gentleman had a garage / shop, and there was lots of tools in there that could really hurt someone, a child, especially if they were unattended and got into like a bucket of nails or something. And so it said on there, please do not allow your children to come into this area for safety reasons. So that was super helpful. I think we got up on open houses. I'll get you Brenda's information and Judy's information, and we'll keep going. How many questions so far? I feel like I'm just like talking so fast, but I have so much to tell you.
On these cards that Rebecca leaves, are they like note cards that she's got maybe her name on them that she uses to mail out?
That would be
Notes to people?
No, they look like they're made specifically for this type of thing. So that would be a Rebecca Douglas question.
They're not very big. They're not even
No.
2x4. They're just like a little,
Yeah,
they're
there's
maybe about that big, and they're not tent cards. They're just a flat card. And she has it printed out, and then she has her pineapple on it, I think.
yeah, her brand is
Her
on.
brand
it.
is on
So
there.
they're 10 cards because they stand up.
No, she has them on little acrylic
Oh,
easels.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, you're
It's
right.
really
They
nice.
were on little acrylic easels.
So, and like, or that other one was like taped to the door where two boys, as you're walking in, it says, do not allow your children in your,
For safety reasons.
safety reasons and stuff like that. And I think she had something on a window too. I don't remember what it was, but she had something taped to a window that explained a feature of the window. I just thought it was.
Was it the crank windows or
They were the
something?
print windows, but it was just neat things that people, it would bring your attention to neat things about the house.
And especially, I don't know how, if you guys have done open houses recently, but when you're a one-man band there, you can't, they're going every which direction, and Of course, always be safe, number one, but it's always great to have someone else there to help answer questions, collect stuff while the next person's reading, that kind of thing. So no one kind of feels like they're left behind.
Okay, I'm sorry, but
No.
go back to your popcorn,
Uh-huh.
popcorn. Are you just saying that's something that you have in the house
That-
to snack on?
Yes, so that would be like a takeaway, like, thank you for popping by, kind of like that catchy phrase, thanks for popping by, or if they have kids or whatever, but it's great popcorn, find a flavor that adults like, don't get the pickle tasty ones, get like, I typically get red because it's Keller Williams color and it's cinnamon, and it's something that, and I'll buy enough of it, typically in a bag, and then whatever I don't use, then I'll use that to door knock, so it doesn't go to waste. So, hey, just wanted to pop on by, say happy Thursday. I'm your neighbor down the street, whatever, how we had some other popcorn today or whatever, just wanted to pop by and say hi, Not that, no one showed up today at my open house today, so I'm bringing you free popcorn. I mean, just.
Already had it in the bag.
Yeah, a lot extras, but no, okay, have an unsuccessful open house, but here's some free popcorn. But no, just thanks for popping, I just wanted to pop on by, or thanks for popping by, it's always kind of fun, so. And if you're gonna be doing an open house on a Saturday and Sunday, you can do the same thing. I mean, you use them, it's still gonna be fresh, so it's a great idea.
It's a whole Sunday night crush.
And that's why Lone Star popcorn is like, just, you order it ahead of time, you pick it up on Friday, and then you use it Saturday and Sunday, so. I don't have time for that, a lot of people do, I do not. So, let's see here, what's the next one? Is that the end of it? I feel like I have so much more to show you. Okay, so I brought this. So I just got this mirror, so it's kind of smudgy. And see, this is what I'm talking about. $20 for this at home just seems really high to me for a little mirror. But so it's always I know because I really like it. It was really cute because I liked it because it was different. It wasn't the one that just has like a little stand with little like on a pedestal. It was more modern-y. It looks fun. So you can put something like this with these little things over here, one right here, and then maybe just put your little toilet paper right here, or just have this in the bathroom and then have something just for decoration to add color, whatever. You've got gold, you got cream, and then this is your main, and then you've got your three decorative things here. Or you switch that out and you put the plants here, this right here, and then you've got your candle, but you gotta make sure your leaf's not the way to come to that. I'll turn it down for you this way now. The accent stuff. But look at them outside. So like if this is like in the corner, then there's the towel rack. You got this little accent piece over here, and that right there. A little bit closer. I'm a fiddler too, so I'll mess with this for like 5 minutes until I get it to the right direction and the leaf's not there. Now during the open house, I may light the candle or I may not, or you can get one with the lid on it, doesn't matter. But it just adds something to a bathroom. And then of course you're gonna have the cute little toilet paper. I'm gonna check your listings. I'm gonna go do some drive-bys. Know what you're listing. See if it's all decorated up. I'll come to your open houses and see if it's all decorated up. These trays I also got at home. They say not food safe on them. So if we're gonna put something on here, I would make sure you wash it or whatever. I'm not really sure why they're not food safe. But these are great for lettering pieces. Like for instance, if you had a home and you had asked the seller to remove, all the items off of their kitchen counter. This one could go by the sink that has the soap and the lotion maybe, or whatever, or a candle here, and then a soap dispenser, however you want to do it when you go on hold. And then this one could go into the master bathroom and kind of something along the lines of, I don't know. I have random pieces that I just will take. What's that? Just staring at this wallpaper. So doing something like this, your little tissue holder, and then maybe maybe something not so big of this. I have another greenery. Let's see about this. How this looks. Got your lotion, soap, and a little piece of greenery there. How do you do that? Just to put into a bathroom. I don't care if the faucets are silver or gold or whatever. Mix your metals. It does not matter. You can even get, I think this tray is perfect for a bathroom, and that one is great for a kitchen, just to have something as an accent. You don't want to use really anything large in a bathroom. Most countertops, even the biggest bathrooms, it's going to really reduce the size of the look. You want to really have those maybe just something like, let's say there's two master sinks, like this is a sink and this is a sink. It's perfect. And just doing something simple in the front, having like maybe one thing, or staging it up where you've got this, you've got your sink right there. So I would normally do like hand soap and lotion, and then some rolled up towels, maybe on a tray, like a small tray like this. Rolled up towels, or you can go, you know how when you go to those nice restaurants in Dallas, well, not much, but they have those napkins that are thicker. So invest in some of those and just lay that out, you know, off to the side. So it's, you're not having to, so here's the sink, you've got your soap, your lotion, and then some of those nicer, thicker napkins that you would actually throw away. Paper towel looking napkins, yeah.
Party City has a bunch of really neat,
Colorful ones,
yes,
decorative
colorful
ones.
ones. And ours is, we put this in the bathroom, and it actually says home sweet home,
Oh,
which is a little subliminal, like
Uh-huh.
welcome home and things like that. So it's, and with our soap and everything, and it says home sweet home, you can use them and throw them away. And
well, Marty just bought them all, so too bad, guys, you're out of luck. Good.
well, they have some that say what happens in the bathroom stays in the bathroom, and I didn't think that was quite appropriate. But I liked it.
Yeah.
Your house, it would.
I'm gonna make it more exciting, but hey, we're close, but, you know, I think anything that can draw attention, like the warming, give them the warm and fuzzies. You know, like I always tell people like, Alexa, play, soft, you know, whatever music, or, you know, smooth jazz or something. I hate a quiet house. I know it, as being a buyer and you're with an agent and you're being walked around, sometimes I'll tell my husband like, or, you know what I mean? And that kind of background music kind of just mutes down, kind of letting people talk. Or if I'm staying in an open house and I've got Alexa on or some music in the background, I don't feel like it, you know, like if someone was there with me, like let's say Marty and I were talking about something, they can't hear our full conversation and they can talk, you know, freely. So always ask for your other thing too. Always ask for, I know we have a hotspot on our phones. And this is an open house class, but always ask for their Wi-Fi. Ask them if they don't mind using their Wi-Fi. That way you can kind of dial in and pull up stuff. And it helps too, because when we did an open house for Rebecca, there was questions about the flood zone and, you know, certain taxes and things like that. And so you have access to that. Versus going, I'll get back to you on that. Okay, I'll get back to you on that. Okay, I'll get back to you on that. So that's super helpful.
And know who the providers are, because we had those questions.
Yes, yes. Yeah, like who's the internet provider? Because there was someone came in that was like, you know, we're in the same area, who's the provider, they're super slow, and a lot of people are e-learning, and who's to say how many years it's gonna take for some people to get back, you know, face to face, or parents who feel comfortable doing that. So, you know, changing spaces when people come and say, you know, like, I know in addition to decorating, but like built-in desks and stuff, if there's like a butler's pantry and they're not really doing anything with it, suggest making that into like a study space. You know, after the study space, it can be converted into, you know, I don't know why I refer back to this all the time, but to like a wine refrigerator in there and take that and still use the top. But, you know, that's an easy butler's pantry area that can be easily converted for a minimal amount of money to suit the needs, you know, for the client, whether they're, you know, they have small children, they, you know, people are working from home these days. I mean, my husband used to go downtown and have to be at the AT&T corporate office. And he'd take the train every day, and it was such a waste. It's on conference calls all day, you know. And so now they're like, back in November they made the announcement, and they said at least until June 21st. They were like, oh my gosh, we'll die, you know. Like, and I'm like, I got it made, you know. You like, you know, I love being with my husband. I love him being at home, and you know, he's able to take the kids and pick them up and whatever. And so he's super helpful. So we don't mind each other. But the divorce rate, I think, is very high right now. So we are not one of them. But
when you okay, you're doing an open house and it's occupied. And I assume you're bringing your goodies to decorate with and putting theirs away, or clearing them off. And then you take yours with you. You don't leave them.
now, as far as like this kind of stuff, my stuff would be there for the whole entire until under contract. And then I would take it away. Yeah. And I would say, this is how I would like for it to look. So whenever we had a house on the market, of course, you know, those houses were strictly for, prospective buyers. We would use a hand towel, and then we would stick it underneath the sink. Of course, I always say, I don't want to see plungers, you know, toilet scrubbers, and I want all toilet seats down. I mean, I have a checklist. I'm pretty adamant about how I want it to look, because if I'm gonna try to get max value for your house, like, I need your help. But I'll go in there beforehand. I always like to get there an hour early. I like to turn on the lights. I was asked if we can, you know, make changes to the thermostat. Some people don't like that. So I want it to be comfortable. I want to be able to set up, you know, my drinks, my this or that, whatever I need to do. And then also have my bearings of the house. If something were to go awry, I need to know. Like, I carry, not everyone carries. I want to know, like, what my surroundings are, where my exits are, just of the house, you know, because we see lots of houses, right? And you may forget that master closet has this really cool shoe shelf that every woman must see. So just knowing your boundaries. Marty and I were there for 2 or 3 hours, and I hadn't even walked down this one hallway because we had been bombarded so fast. And there was a showing an hour before the open house, which had to was off. And so, you know, but just having your bearings and getting there, so you're not going. I mean, there's been times where my husband has gotten there an hour before to set up stuff, and there's people literally standing at the front door. And I'm like, hold on, guys, I feel like I can't get prepared. So it's like, you have it there ahead of time, maybe even set up Friday night. You know, we do a lot of signs Friday night, and, you know, maybe bring some of the stuff over to the sellers. All you have to do is walk in, put them out, whatever, or have the seller do it for you. You know, you bring the stuff over and ask them if they can prepare it. And this market is helpful. So, but yeah. What other helpful questions can I answer for staging? Pillows. Home Goods is a great place. I could talk pillows all day long.
I've always been a fan of pillows. You can order like pillow covers.
Yes.
Like just solid colors. Like I do that all the time because I like my pillows. Like they're good, stiff, and like I like the size of them. But I buy covers like maybe once a year, and then I can wash them in such not always they store good.
Yes.
They're so smaller.
Yes.
Good alternative to like rebuy.
Yes. That's a great idea, actually, especially with having dogs and we use the pillows. I mean the couch and stuff. We sit on that thing. Our lab, we have to vacuum it. It's what it is. So we live in our home. It's not like it's always like, hey, don't touch that, whatever. We have family night. We play lots of card games and stuff. So we just stack all the stuff up and put it on the shelf. So But it's just, I don't know, I guess that decorator me that likes to have a little free space and what have you, but, trying to think. I think we had the class until 3, but, does anyone online have any questions? Yeah, okay. Anyone has any questions or wants to, I don't know, maybe I should all try this and text it to me when you get home. And then I'm gonna do, actually, take one of these jars. Got some extra ones. I'm gonna do my husband bought a thing of tissue. I'm gonna do my tissue. So,
Every now and then, I haven't done it in a while, but I'll take a run through Goodwill and I can find some of those pieces, just clean them up.
yes.
And then spray paint.
Oh, yeah, those square jar vases like that, you can get for $1.
Oh, yeah. And Marketplace is a great place. Like, I'm all about the dupes. I don't need name brand or whatever. I'm all about the dupes. So, and Marketplace and all kinds of stuff. It's just such great places. But yeah. So I'm just huh? I think it's important to have a few key pieces that you can just grab and go. But a lot of it is like, I have a listing appointment tomorrow. Actually, got pushed next week because she's going out of town. But I'm gonna go to her house and take my checklist and everything, and then I'll evaluate with my inventory of what I have for staging and to see what she needs in her home. So, you know, it doesn't all have to happen in one day, but I think just added touches. And then even if, I mean, you can't expect your sellers like, okay, I'm gonna show you how to do this, and you do it. But just bring some with you. You saw I did it with a bottle of water. So bring some with you and just put it on there. I mean, do it yourself. Just go the extra mile. And then when you use the restroom, it's there, and they're gonna be like, oh wow, I really do that? Because Judy wasn't here. So, you know, just little things like that, you know.
Will you share with us your checklist?
Yes, yes. I don't have it on me right now, it's on my computer. But yeah,
I'll just give you our email address and email.
yes, I'll actually send it to you at Diana, and she can probably send it out, or I'll send it to you, to Elaine, and you can,
Send it to Beth. She's got the full list of everybody.
perfect. I'll get it to Beth. Yep. Yeah, it's like decluttering. I mean, it's good. So, yeah. Now think of any other ideas, like questions you may have that's not related to staging. Let me say this. With everyone going through the, you know, the snowstorm and getting below freezing, all the hawthorns and all this other stuff. A lot of people are having landscape issues and things like that. And a lot of the landscape companies are like backed up like for months. So I think just kind of pulling you and putting some mulch down so you can get something, just or throw a faux plant. A lot of the stuff that I'm seeing now are pots like on my front porch and actually faux flowers. I mean, if it wasn't for my husband, that's what I would have. Yeah, is the faux stuff.
I don't water.
I was actually gonna plant some of those photo tulips, like those were sold out on Amazon.
Yeah,
I was gonna plant those.
yeah, it's all over TikTok. I mean, I remember, I was on, you can get carried away on TikTok because there's so many different ideas and stuff like that. But it's just, yeah, I mean, there's some of the just the things that come up, I'm like, how did I not think of that? You know, these,
Yeah.
you can find so many just neat little tricks and stuff, but getting the house cleaned first before it goes in the market, professional photography and staging, I think, I don't care if you think it's gonna sell in a day or it will sell in a day, like, you have to still do those steps, you know, because the appraiser's gonna see those pictures, the appraiser's gonna see the conditions, I mean, it still has to meet appraisal. I mean, even though we're doing these appraisal waivers, you still have to get close to that, you know what I mean? So I always tell people, do not let your house go until after it appraises and we are out of the clear. And if we have a third close, because what happens if we have to go back on the market for whatever reason, you know? I mean, you can have a well-qualified buyer or whatever, and all of a sudden they lose their job, and so the process starts over. So I always kind of say, I want this until we're through appraisal and third close, like getting third close. So these facts are important, you know, for that very reason and all that stuff. So keep the decor up, keep it nice. And when I know the appraiser's coming, I may go over there and do a few things and freshen up and, do certain things. So, but most people are pretty, like compliant when it comes to helping out. And once they do it, they're like, well, no, I love my house, but I don't want to sell it. I'm like, no, dude, you're selling, you're still selling your house. We're not changing this. So, but no, I think it's just, you're going the extra mile that other agents aren't doing, which is gonna help you with the listing. So when you put that in your presentation and take pictures of some of these before and afters of what services you provide at no cost, that's a benefit to you. That's a service that you can provide that some other agents can't do without paying that high price. I would pay $150 for that. So
So how often do you do the staging yourself?
all the time.
You don't ever do outside stagers?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I'll stage, some agents will call me to stage, and I will not present myself as an agent, I'm just as a stager. And I'll go in and stage, like if you had a listing, you're like, oh, Lord, I need your help, I can't do this. Then I would go with you if you wanted to just learn. But I don't present myself as an agent. I would present myself as I'm working with you, that kind of thing, or you hired me to whatever. So I've done that. Sometimes I've got agents who just need ideas, and then I'll send them like pictures or links of things off of Amazon, or where to get certain things. But I mean, for the most part, Target, Home Goods, whatever. But if you're struggling with something, and right now, not many people are with this market, but eventually it's going to shift at some point, So if you ever get to that point, you're kind of like, this is kind of on the market for 30 days until sign it, what can I do to spice it up? Let's spice it up beforehand. That way we don't get to that point where we're looking at the DOMs,
Do you keep like a set inventory of just for staging?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Like the stuff that stays on my dining room, on my kitchen table is there for decorative purposes. And I just said, I'm just going to do a lot of that. So we've never physically used those plates. It's just decorative. But then like trays and stuff, like we do use this candle we do use. And then of course, during the ice storm we use, but I'm trying to think. We use, as far as like the candles, we go through candles like crazy. And then this is actually, I do have a lot of inventory, but some of it I'll just take from my own home and put it places. But we do have a section in the garage where it's strictly like staging / real estate, like a quarter of the garage for that stuff.
How do you gracefully have that conversation with them?
Just the expectation.
Homeowner, yeah, it's like, hey, we need to declutter, we need to get a lot of this stuff out of here. Like we need to clear the area.
Okay, so what I normally do is, there is a listing that I always refer back to, and I have pictures of those photos on my phone. And it's a house, I'm not gonna use the address out, but it's a house, and it wasn't a Keller Williams listing, it was another agent in the Briscoe area. And she called me and she said, hey, my friend said that you're a realtor. I need to sell my home. I said, oh, great. When would be a great time to meet? And she said, well, I already have my home listed, but it's not selling. And we've already bought another house. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Like this sounds familiar. And she said, when you look at would you mind pulling up my house and tell me what's wrong with it? Well, we can only say so much, right? And I pull up the pictures, and there's one of those little slides that you sit on a little car when you're 2 years old, and you like slide down this little car thing. It's in the picture in the living room. The pillows are not straight. There's no, it just looked like someone came in with a little phone and went, all right, thank you so much. I'm just like, okay, so you have to finesse the client, like this is what I expect. This is how, these are my percentages of closing ratios to, 99% to 100% of at or over asking price. And this is how we arrive at that. And this is so, you have expectations of me. Of course, I say this much nicer, but I'm just breaking it down. I know you have expectations of me, and it's my job, my fiduciary duty is to you, is to bring you top dollar for your home. So to order to achieve that, you know, we do have a checklist, but systematically and statistically, we know this works. So, you know, if you can do these things, I'm happy to go over there and be hands-on. I'll go put some company clothes on and I'll get after it with them. You know, I'll help, I'll do anything. So I want to show them value, give them service, but also like help them. Sometimes they don't know, you know, my idea of neat and tidy might be different than someone else's neat and tidy. You know, my husband, when he gets frustrated or whatever, I always know because the chairs are all up on the tables and he's mopping the floors and it's just, yeah, well, that's his way of just, instead of getting, he's the calmest person I know, but I can always tell if something's bothering him, it's because he is cleaning like crazy. But so people just have a different theory of, you know, clean versus really clean, or stage versus plain. You know, you want it to be nice, and you just want to just going the extra mile. Just it's perception. And there's so many factors that go into it.
So what did you tell them? What did you tell this person about the slide and the pictures and whatever? Did
Okay,
she end
so
up listening to you?
okay, no, so this is what happened. So I said, well, so there's another house located on this. Have you, it was a comparative. And I said, you know, I don't represent you, but, you know, it's a friend of mine, a friend of a friend. And the husband actually had chosen this realtor because they were really good friends, but he'd been only been in business 9 months. No offense to new agents, because, I mean, first year in business, people, I mean, are making hundreds of thousands of dollars. But and it's nothing against male or female eye, because there's, I mean, everyone has a different eye. So I just said, if it were me, I would probably, was there a professional photographer? Yeah, I think so. Okay, probably not, if you don't know for sure who were there. I mean, obviously there was a guy with a camera. I would have moved those things out of the way, and I just said, sometimes I said, I probably wouldn't have, she said, well, my husband's not willing to clean up the study. Well, if he's not willing to clean up the study and it looks like a tornado hit it, I just said, I probably wouldn't have that picture on the MLS, just to be honest. It's gonna state that there's a study, but maybe not include that picture, because they weren't getting the showings. And I said, and maybe by removing the toys and getting baskets, you know, they've got great baskets at Home Goods that are woven, they're colored, they go with all kinds of decor. Place those toys inside the baskets. You can leave them there, because we understand that you have to live in this house. Like, you can't go, okay, kids, no more toys for 30 days until we close on this thing. You can't do that, right? And you just have to live a lie. That's why I say, you know, if they want their KitchenAid out, or if they use the toaster 3 times a day, like, I don't want to make their job harder. You know, they still have to live in this home, and it stinks being a seller. I mean, then you get the call of, gotta do this, and it's like, oh gosh, gotta go do this with the dogs, and sweep up this, and quickly vacuum, and do whatever, and close all this, and do the, you know, so you try to make her life easy, but it was just telling her, guiding her through, like, my suggestion would be, if it were me, I would probably get it staged and get pictures retaken and whatever, and then for like a week, while she was doing all that, it was, I'm really trying to convince my husband to change and this and that, whatever. And I was like, hey, like, look, I'm just giving you a few tips. I will present you, whatever. He's already got the new purchase, his name on it. It was discounting, you know, their listing. And so he's already guaranteed on the build side, because they're building a house. So he's already guaranteed on that. Eventually, he knows his house is going to sell, and that was not going to be ready in time, you know, for several more months anyways. So when he's discounting it to 0% or 1%, what I mean, motivation does that give him to want to sell that house, right? Well, after she got those ideas, we heard from her again. She got a contract on this. My friend called me and said she took your ideas and they got a contract within a week and a half.
It's not right.
It's not, but you know what?
But you can't
Now,
But
contribution
the
to
deal
council
is,
member.
she's gonna tell her friends, don't use this guy, you need to call her.
Right.
She's the one that really helped me, even though he got the paycheck.
So now my friend
So-
Alex, who referred Jennifer to me, I'm gonna get referrals more now from Alex and Jennifer. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't,
Sometimes we do stuff not for what we're gonna do, reap the benefits of right now.
Yeah,
the
it's for
future.
later. You're watering the plants.
That's right.
You know what? And you gotta pay it forward sometimes. You have to bite your tongue. And that's probably the servant heart in me that
Yeah.
I got burned. But Jennifer didn't, I didn't know Jennifer. And Alex is a stay-at-home mom. So she's not in the real estate world. And so it just so happened, I made a post that said, I've got buyers on the wait list. And then Alex was like, oh, I know someone who has a house that they can't sell, because I guess they had a recent dinner night or something. And so the initial call was, oh, my friend Alex said that you have buyers. So could you have a buyer you can bring to my house? And then it was, why can't I sell my home? And then it kind of just got more and more. And then, of course, she ended up getting her house under contract. So
But you're in a really touchy situation.
not
When
giving
you're not, yeah, when you're not the listing agent, some listing agents would, skin you alive for discussing that with them. Even though you were benefiting them for no reason of, I don't know.
Well, yeah, but they called you, you didn't call
yeah,
her.
I didn't solicit her, and I
Unfortunately, sellers can talk to anybody they want.
yeah, they can. And I just said, if it were me, and I kept repeating, I do not represent you. This is, I do not have anything to find you. You are being represented by so-and-so, Joe Schmo. And, but I think by just simply staging the house and having it professionally photographed would be huge. And then she's like, okay, I'm gonna get that done. I'm gonna ask them if you can do an open house this weekend. And I was like, okay, sounds great, fantastic. And then it was under contract. So she went from panic mode to wanting to switch and whatever, when it was a simple fix. I wasn't trying to take his business. I mean, why would I want to take a listing for 1% or 4% and give a buyer's fee to 3% when I make 1% and I've done all the work, and their realtor started getting paid on the other end of it. So it's as to no benefit to me whatsoever. So if I can give someone 2 pieces of advice and they take it and they get it sold, hey, hopefully I'll get 4 or 5 referrals from later on down the road. So that's how I look at it. But yeah, it happens all too often, honestly. That that's why it's so important. Follow up is so important, and just staying in contact with your sphere, because every person knows 3 or 4 realtors. So it's just keeping you in top of mind. So, but I know we finished early. Thank you guys. If you have any questions, sure. Just let me know. I can take your flour or your trash or whatever. Oh, you didn't know yours wet. Did you use your water? We don't come and try it. Let me know if it works for you guys.